Hello, in part 2 video of reviewing Canon camcorders, we continue reviewing prosumer level camcorders with Vixia HF G series, starting with Vixia HF G10. Vixia HF G10 released 2011 has 1/3 of an inch HD CMOS Pro processor DIGIC DV3, which leads to maximum write speed of 24 megabits per second, effective megapixel 2.07, which is the minimum requirement for HD 1920 by 1080. Other notable features: filter diameter is 58 millimeters, and the maximum frame rate still is 60 interlace and 30 frame progressive. And picture profile, one editable image effects that you can adjust, like you can adjust saturation, contrast, color depths, those characteristics while encoding the frames of video. And shooting modes, another notable feature here is that the cinema mode is a button beside the manual and auto, and it could be combined with shooting modes. So that's HFG10. Going to HFG20, the major difference is that the HFG20 had better light performance. The CMOS sensor, they have improved, and it has 20% better light performance. That's why they have in the release note. The rest of the feature is identical to G10, and the overall features are identical. And one difference the G10 and G20 have to Canon Vixia HF M series, HF M4 series, and 5 series, that they also have 1/3 of an inch HD CMOS Pro, is that these cameras, G series, have much larger lens field diameter. Filter diameter is 58 millimeter, means it captures more lights and leads to better composing the image, and you have to spend less gain, then it leads to sharper image, so it's better quality. Also the mechanics, the body is larger, so the lens mechanic also is better for stabilization. Overall has a better quality. Going to HF G30, this one it is a milestone in this series. The image, the sensor has been slightly changed. The size is a little bit larger than 1/3 of an inch. It's still HD CMOS Pro. And another big difference is this: from this model, DIGIC DV4 came into to the series, and it leads to more bitrate in write processing, 35 megabits per second, 28 megabits AVC HD, and also has much more, a little bit more effective megapixels, 2.91, which leads to oversampling in HD, and have much sharper than minimum resolution HD. And another notable thing is the touch has been accompanied with joystick and Wi-Fi. Joystick has been introduced back again. And then also has tiltable viewfinder, and also the 60 frame has been improved to progressive from interlace from this model. And still one editable image effect, and shooting modes and camera modes are still the same. So it's a good milestone. Canon Vixia HF G40. This one has similar characteristics and configs to G30. Sensor has been improved. They have 3 points, better noise reduction. That's what they claim. They keep improving their sensor in these years. And the rest of the configuration is identical. And one big change in G40 is the custom picture profile. On top of one editable image picture profile, there's also 3 looks have become available: standard look, wide DR, and high priority, which wide DR gives better high dynamic range, and high priority gives better clarity in bright, sunny, and very overexposed areas. It kind of tones it down automatically, and they're very good picture profile, very useful. And shooting modes and camera modes are still the same. Cinema mode still exists as a button, camera mode button on top of the camera. So this is a very good camera, HFG40. HFG40. Then they also release HFG21, which is very similar to HFG40. I couldn't find any major difference between G21 and G40 based on the release date. It was released 1 year later. I didn't find a big difference. The only thing I saw was that there was a limitation in recording when in cinema mode. 35 megabits per second and 28 megabits per second weren't available. You have to choose a little bit lower bit writing bit rates when you're in cinema mode. I don't know why. That's what they mentioned in their catalogs, and this was not mentioned in G40. So I would say G40 is the best HD camcorder, and could be considered. Why would you buy something inferior when the G40 is available? And I've seen like it's around $550, very good condition in online recent days. It was really good. Condition is $500. The only difference is that that much amount of money, and the body size is a little bit larger than consumer series that I talked about in previous video. So if you're willing to carry a little bit larger camcorder with just a few $100 more, you get a lot of good camera with a lot of very good feature. They have very good quality. Moving on to HF G60 and 4K camcorders came in around 2019. So basically, from HF G50, the sensor size, half an inch sensor, 4K sensor is changed into 4K UHD CMOS sensor, and also processor improved significantly, DIGIC DV6, and write speed 150 megabits per second, effective megapixel 8.29, and also focal length has improved to 612 millimeters, 35 millimeter equivalent, 5-axis image stabilization, and field diameter is the same, and the rest of feature still similar to previous ones. The HDMI now outputs HD 10-bit 422 as well. That could be recorded as HDMI, not recording by the camera built-in recording function. It's not available in that color space. And the custom picture profile has been removed. Those presets that was introduced in G40 no longer available in G50, but the G50 custom picture profile has more detail in customizing. It's not only contrast, sharpness. You can customize all color matrix, knee, and everything that requires a little bit more knowledge. So, but there are some fixed custom profiles in there, normal, EOS standard, and but nothing like a wider dynamic range is not available in G50, unless you have that kind of recipe of how to modify the custom picture profile to achieve that. The shooting mode, cinema mode has been removed, no longer available. Probably they thought you can achieve that through custom picture profile details that have been provided. And also infrared is also available. Then G70 is identical to G50, half an inch sensor, almost half an inch sensor, the same. Everything is the same except that G70 is a little bit faster in the startup. When you open when I start the camera, it looks like firmware has been improved to be faster, even though the processor hasn't changed, the hardware hasn't changed. And also the LCD is a little bit larger, and they also have USB as an input for charging cable. So that's that. Then going to Canon Vixia HF G60. This one is 1-inch sensor, the same sensor type, but this is 1 inch, and focal length is a little bit smaller to be able to achieve sharpness in all ranges of focal length distances. And everything is identical except that picture profiles in G60 1-inch sensor camcorders has wide DR, it gives you wider dynamic, and also C-Log, Canon Log 3, which is a very flat profile, along with a even better dynamic range. And that's something it looks like it's only available in 1-inch sensor camcorders. And shooting modes are still the same. And that is the G series. Moving to more professional level, Canon XA series. We have here XA60, half an inch sensor, similar to G70 and G50. Everything is identical, and except that this one has XLR input for audio recording on top of the camcorder, which makes it more professional level. You can use for documentary. And similar to this, XA60 is the G70 or G50, which are half an inch sensor. We have XA50 and XA70, which are identical, 1-inch sensor, 4K UHD CMOS sensor. The same characteristics. Again, the focal length is a little bit smaller because 1-inch sensor is wider to support that. 1-inch sensor has the custom picture profiles, wide DR and Canon C-Log 3. Shooting modes and camera modes are the same. So this one also has XLR audio recording input. So that's the difference. And XA70 is also 1-inch sensor, similar to XA50. And the difference is little bit wide, larger LCD in XA70. Everything else is identical to XA50. It's 1-inch sensor companion camcorder, and yeah, that's been improved. The viewfinder also have been improved in terms of resolution, and also has the USB-C input for charging. Another difference I saw between XA70 and G60 is that XA70 on top of XLR audio inputs also records XF AVC. That this does not exist in G60, is only MPEG-4. The XA series are available, XA60 something around 1100, 1200, 1-inch sensors like HF G60 or XA50 or 70, something around 2000 to 2300. All the camcorders that I talked about in this 2-part video, they record maximum 60 frames per second in HD, and if they're 4K, they record maximum 30 frames per second in 4K. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the camcorders that record 60 frames per second 4K. Thank you for watching. Bye.